Hi, I'm Enchanting Nubianette. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Well, today I'm going to share a news story that is relatable. This is something that we do often where we look up information online. Um, Many times we do this without going to the doctor. We say, oh, we have these symptoms, or we want to make a lifestyle change or some type of change in our life, and we refer to the internet, whether Google or other search engines. But in this case, the news story is based on one of my favorite sources, which is ChatGPT. So just a few days ago, everyone, a 60-year-old man was hospitalized after developing Bromism. Now, Bromism is something that I have never heard of before. Maybe you have, maybe you have not. But it's a rare and dangerous condition. It's caused by excessive bromide in the body. So this man, he had been experimenting with his diet after consulting ChatGPT. So he aimed at eliminating chlorine from his intake, including table salt, which is sodium chloride. Referring to ChatGPT, he substituted it with sodium bromide, and this is a compound historically used in sedatives and industrial applications. So, once again, he's 60 years old and he's trying a new diet. And especially as we get older, we know that the body reacts differently. We have new symptoms in the body. Our body is forever changing. And it's not the same body as it was before, of course. And, slight changes can cause a lot of symptoms to occur. But an extreme change like this can definitely place a lot of havoc on the body. So over 3 months, he consumed sodium bromide regularly, and he believed it was a safe alternative. But eventually, everyone, he arrived at the emergency room and he was suffering from these extreme symptoms, such as paranoid delusions, auditory and visual hallucinations, and extreme thirst. Now, these are over the top. With these type of symptoms, he definitely needed to have a specialized doctor to treat him and to give him consultation. But he refused, when he was in a hospital, he even refused the hospital water because he was still experiencing these symptoms. He thought that his neighbor was trying to poison him, and he admitted to distilling his own water at home. Now, talking about distilled water, just about a month or two ago, I remember seeing a water distiller on TikTok shop that I was so interested in getting. I said, oh my goodness, this is a wonderful way to to drink water. Then when I did my research, thankfully before purchasing it, I realized that distilled water can cause you to lose a lot of minerals, essential minerals needed in the body. Thank goodness I did not purchase it. And I even saw that many people were actually making their own distilled water. They were using a pot, they were putting like a bowl inside the pot with water on top, and also covering it and placing ice cubes and then covering that bowl so that the water can have a distillation process. But again, distilled water is not allegedly healthy for the body. So let's continue with the news story. Doctors diagnosed the 60-year-old man with bromism. So, bromism, you would think of the word like, before I started the story, maybe bromism is when, two guys or two males hang out together, they have a close bond, but no, it's a condition that impairs nerve function and it can cause psychiatric symptoms. skin rashes, and neurological damage. All of these are long-term conditions that definitely deteriorate different parts of the body that we need to function. And this is very extreme. Psychiatric symptoms, that means it changes the chemicals in your brain. And depending on, if you have the right doctor or not, if you rely on medication, that also has side effects on your internal organs. And doesn't mean that you'll return 100% to your original self. Maybe you'll have, some of the symptoms such as the visual or auditory or, delusions. You never know with medication. So, the bromide toxicity was very common in the early 20th century, many, many decades ago. However, it's very rare. We don't even hear about this anymore because the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, banned bromide containing medicine in the 1980s. So everyone, please make sure that when you are seeking medical help, you can definitely do your own research. I'm definitely a big promoter in that. Getting books and, comparing, contrasting information you learn online. But if you're doing something extreme, you need to seek someone who is trained, a doctor or homeopathic specialist. So going forward, everyone, make sure that you do that regarding your health. So let's continue with this news story. This man was placed under an involuntary psychiatric hold and treated for 3 weeks. His condition, thankfully, gradually improved. But this case definitely has raised concerns about the dangers of relying on AI, artificial intelligence, for medical advice without any professional oversight. So once again, this is a very interesting news story because, it can be relatable, and many people like myself are using ChatGPT on a regular basis. Many people are utilizing it for their personal reasons and also for business, and just to, keep up with technology in 2025. And we know technology has been advancing very, very quickly in these past few years, especially since 2020, and even, since last year. Recently, ChatGPT has advanced to version 5. So it has so many wonderful features that I'm learning about myself. But please make sure that you are, doing research and comparing various resources that's legitimate, medical resources, and also seeking professional help and consultation. So thankfully, in this man's case, he was able to recover, but those are some serious symptoms. Imagine you're a healthy senior and you're experiencing paranoid delusions, auditory and visual hallucinations all together. That definitely will disrupt your daily life. You're not even able to, think for yourself. You're not able to function independently. If he's working, I'm sure, of course, that's affecting his job and his relationship with, his family, friends, and how he perceives himself. So that is some serious symptoms. It's very interesting to learn about. And, I'm thankful that I came across this story so I can share with all of you. So what is your perspective on using ChatGPT and even this particular story regarding bromism, this condition that this man, has because he changed his diet, not using salt in his diet? So please drop a comment below, and thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Stay safe wherever you are, once again, and keep your head on a swivel.